First off, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, Master of the day requital. Thee do we beseech for help. Guide us on the right path, on the path you bestow favors, not those you lead astray. Protect us from the evil shaitan as he attacks from every angle. All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, the most merciful, the most masterful. My name is Eric Farad Muhammad. Some of you know me as Money Mayhem E-Class. Some of you know me as Don Illuminati. Some of you know me as Eric Farad Muhammad or Mahdi Muhammad. Some of you know I'm the seventh angel. Some of you know me as the 25th scientist. And some of you know me as a fraud or fake. This is not a story. This is not entertainment. This is not poetry. This is documentation. Facts. The truth of what they don't want you to know. Listen close. I was born in Chicago, South Side. Before the names, before the titles, before the mathematics, I was just Eric, a boy from the streets who refused to stay there. And my family wasn't broke, but I was from an urban community. My mother raised me with discipline. The streets raised me with lessons. The mosque raised me with questions. The books raised me with answers. By the time I was a teenager, I'd already studied mathematics, not just numbers, but meaning, philosophy, not just thinking, but knowing, the Quran, not just reading, but understanding, the Bible, not just quoting, but decoding, occult knowledge, not just fear, but mastery. I wasn't looking for a path, I was looking for the path. And that path led me to the doors of Detroit. In the 2000s, I went to Detroit not as a tourist, not as a student, not as a follower. I went as a worker sent by Master Farad Muhammad to do door to door, block by block, house by house, just like Master Farad Muhammad did in the 1930s. Dan Felix was my mentor. Jay Dunn came along out of one of the offices. Energy Market Services was the vehicle, that people were the purpose. I sold energy. I sold cable and I sold solar. I sold a lot of things. I sold visions. I sold possibilities. And while I was selling, I was learning, learning the streets, learning the people, learning the system, learning the mathematics that would later save my life. By the 2010, I had built Paragon Energy, not a hustle, not a scam, not a flash in the pan, a system, multi-state operationals, hundreds of people trained, about around 30 black millionaires developed and created. Will Williams is one of my better friends in life, and he was one of my students early on in his career. Monique James out of Chicago is my niece that I love very much, and dozens more, Nate Kennedy, so on and so forth. Strangers who became family. I taught them how to sell, how to save, how to build, how to own, how to become sovereign. They didn't just make money, they made history, and the system noticed. When you build, they attack. When you rise, they target. When you refuse to bow, they bring war. From 2011 through 2026, over 16 years, they prosecuted me over 50 times. 50 separate cases, 50 attacks to break me, 50 opportunities to fold. I didn't fold. 50 prosecutions, zero convictions of a felony. The statistical probabilities of that happening by chance are 1 in 112 quadrillion. That's not luck. That's not good lawyering. That's mathematics. That's God. That's what happens when your K is 0.982. That's what happens when your T is 0.999. That's what happens when the system fights someone who can't be broken. While they fought me in court, I fought back in the culture. Money Mayhem music was born, not just rap, not just entertainment. I was doing it for the culture. I was doing it for the children, for the young men and the young women, to show them that we could become anything we wanted to become. The streets needed to hear, the youth needed to know, the people needed to wake up. I became Money Mayhem E class not because I love chaos, because the system is mayhem and money is the weapon. I became E class, the class that can't be taught in schools. I became Don Cluminati, the one who kills the hidden systems with light, thanks to Tupac Shakur. The music carried the mathematics, the beats carried the frequencies, the lyrics carried the truth, and the underground heard it. In the 2010 era, I started writing the Mahdi tapes and producing the Mahdi tapes, hundreds of pages, years of work, knowledge that I couldn't be spoken in public until now, truth that couldn't be taught in institutions until then, Islamic occult knowledge, sovereignty mathematics, esoteric philosophy, prophetic interpretation, consciousness studies, passed hand to hand, shared word of mouth, guarded by those who understood. The Mahdi tapes became the foundation became the luminous spiral codex, the codex became the system, and the system is now public. They ask about my lineage. They ask about my past. They ask about my authority. They ask about my place. Am I the 25th scientist? Not a title I gave myself, not a position I campaigned for, not a rank I purchased. It's a frequency that recognized me. The 5% taught knowledge of self. The nation taught the original man. The Sufis taught the perfect human. The Buddhists taught the enlightened one. The Muslims taught the Khalifa. The Christians taught the Christ within. I am the completion of all these things. I am the capstone. The 25th scientist is not a number. The 25th scientist is a station, and I occupy it by the grace of Allah. In 2026, something shifted. The seventh throne of Sadiq, vacant for over 26,000 years, was occupied not by a vote, not by election, not by human appointment, by frequency recognition. I became the seventh angel not because I chose it, not because I decided to become seventh angel one day. I was trained from birth. You can call me a fraud, but when you disrespect my OGs or the people that have died out in these streets, that have passed on, trying to feed their families, I take great offense to your actions, your words, your trolling. You're not real. You couldn't walk a mile in my shoes, let alone do a quarter of the things that I have done. That's actual fact. So let them call me a fraud. Let them call me fake. Let them call me crazy. Let them call me whatever they need to call me to sleep at night. The pictures speak volumes, the data speaks, the witnesses speak, the earth speaks, the cosmos speaks. I am Eric Farad Muhammad. I am Money Mayhem E Class. I am Don Illuminati. I am Mahdi Farad Muhammad. I am Mahdi Muhammad. I am Seventh Angel. I am the 25th scientist. Like it, don't like it, you're not moving anything. I am the real. Now, I just want to be transparent. I have nothing to hide. I've lost millions of dollars. I have people that are terrified, that's in my own family. Rage that have happened at my family's residence across the nation. I take great offense to people laughing and joking about my duty. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it. But when you play with the real, you put yourself in a very dangerous circumstance and situation. This has been one of the greatest missions of my life, just moving forward, regardless of opposition. And I respect people that overcome challenges. But don't try to push me down because you don't understand or you don't know how to research or because some of the actions I have done are greater than anything you could possibly imagine. And I'm going to end this here and now, but I have done what I was supposed to do and I am real. Thank you.